All right, so this class is going to be a continuation of the last week's class. We understood what are the different types of motions. We also learned about what is object in motion and what is object at rest. Okay, so we'll quickly revise what we learned and then we'll move on to the experiment. So now, Gia, you tell me, what do you understand by object in motion?
When an object is moving at a certain speed.
Yeah, certain speed with respect to time. Okay,
Yeah.
with reference to time. All right. Adya, what do you understand by object at rest?
When an object is not moving and is still in one place, the object is in rest.
Okay. All right. Vedika, you tell me how many different types of motion we learnt about last class.
Um, Circular motion, oscillatory motion, rectilinear motion,
Hmm.
and that's it, right?
Hmm. Okay, there are a few more. All right. So, how about this? Gia, explain what do you understand by rectilinear motion?
Rectilinear motion is motion in a straight line.
Motion in a straight line. Can you give me an example?
Um, a car moving on a straight road in a straight line.
Okay. Adya, what do you understand by circular motion?
When the object is moving in a circle,
A circular path. Okay.
a circular
Uh,
path.
okay. Any examples?
On like on toy trains, there is a track which is always circular,
Okay. All
and the
right.
train moves on the track in a circular motion.
All right. Vedika, give me examples of
Ma'am,
oscillatory motion. Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah.
The Earth moving around the sun is a circulatory motion. Is circulatory motion, right?
So Earth performs a lot of motions. One is a circular motion around the sun,
Yeah.
and it also performs rotational motion because it is also rotating by its own
Yeah.
axis.
Yeah.
Okay. And also because it revolves and it rotates at a periodic interval of time, it also performs periodic motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Vedika, explain me what is oscillatory motion.
It's like the to and fro motion of an object.
Okay, give me examples other than the pendulum.
Um, mm, Other than the pendulum. I don't know.
Okay. You all know guitar,
Yeah.
right? The strings of the guitar, when you're playing the guitar, the strings vibrate, they oscillate, right? So that is also an oscillatory motion.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's move ahead. So we studied the types of motion. Then we also learned what is oscillatory motion. Okay. Now let's quickly once revise the parts of the pendulum. The point from which the pendulum is suspended is called the point of suspension. Okay. The length of the string or the arm, that is called the length of the pendulum. The ball or the metallic object that is connected to the string is called the bob. Okay. The center position, the position when the pendulum comes to rest, that position is called the equilibrium position. Okay. And one oscillation is one, starting, say for example, if your pendulum starts moving from the right, it goes to the left and comes back to the right, that is one oscillation. Okay. So this is oscillatory motion. Now we also learned about the time period of the pendulum. Now time period is denoted by T, and its unit is seconds. All right, we know what is 2, we know what is the value of pi. Now L is the length of the pendulum, and it is measured in meters. And G, I had explained to you that it is acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.81 meter per second square. So meter per second square is the unit for acceleration, and the value of G is constant, that is 9.81 meter per second square. Right? So now we will move on to the activity that we started last class. I want all of you all to turn your videos on. Okay. Ready with your pendulum?
Yeah.
Okay. So now what we are going to do is we will first observe what Nicola ma'am is doing. Okay. And then you all will carry out the same activity. Nicola ma'am, let's start.
Yeah.
So Nicola ma'am has a pendulum. The length of the pendulum is 1 meter. Okay, I want you all to write down the values that I'm telling you. The length, all of you all write it down. Okay, the length L is equal to 1 meter. Now, what we are going to do is we will be measuring the time that Nicola ma'am's pendulum takes to complete 10 oscillations. Okay, instead of counting the time, instead of counting the number of oscillations, we are checking that how much time does the pendulum take to complete 10 oscillations. Okay, all right, Nicola ma'am, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I think there was a lag. You'll have to start it again.
Okay.
All right. Ready? 3,
Yeah.
2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay. So 24 seconds. Okay. So Nicola ma'am's pendulum took 24 seconds to complete 10 oscillations. Okay. Write it down in your notebook. 24 seconds to complete 10 oscillations. Now, how much time will it take to complete one oscillation? If it is
Ma'am,
20.
can you just repeat the Yeah, wait, now I got the
Yeah. See, you'll have to write example 1. So every example that we are doing will be having 3 parts. Okay. So the first example, part A. Okay. Write example 1, part A. And in part A, you will write that time taken for 10 oscillation is equal to 24 seconds. Therefore, time taken for one oscillation is equal to how much?
2.4.
2.4 seconds. Okay. So that means our time period for example 1 theoretically, practically it is 2.4 seconds. Okay. Now what we are going to do, we will write, so this was part A. All right. Now go to part B of example 1. So there you write the formula first. T is equal to 2.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
In part 8, we have to write the length too.
No, you don't have to write the length in part A because part
Okay.
A is just practical observation. Part B will be calculation. Okay, in part B, you write the formula T is equal to 2 pi square root of L upon G. Now we have to calculate T. We know the other values. Okay, the value of 2 is 2, then pi is 22 upon 7, then square root of L is 1 meter, and G divided by G is 9.81. So what I'll do is I will calculate it here on the screen. You all see it for one, and then you all can calculate. Okay, so 1 divided by 9.81 is what is inside the square root. Okay, then I do the square root of this, and then I multiply it by 2 and 22, and I divide it by 7. So my value is 2.01. Okay, so time period by formula comes to 2.01. If you want to write it stepwise, you can write. You can just substitute the value in the formula and write T is equal to 2.01 seconds. Why 01? Because we are rounding it off. So 2.01 seconds. So now you'll observe that in part A and part B, T is almost equal. Okay, it is 2 point something seconds. Okay, so we have kind of verified that the time period calculated practically versus experimentally as in with formula, both are correct. Right, now let's move on to the third part, that is C part. Now what Nicola ma'am is going to do is, she is going to initially she had taken the length of the pendulum as 1 meter. Now she will reduce the pendulum length. Okay, what is the new length of the pendulum, Nicola ma'am?
50 centimeters.
Okay, so the new length now in part C, you will write L is equal to. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's reduced to half.
It is reduced to
so
half.
1 meter.
Yeah.
Reduced
So
to
L is equal to
centimeters.
50 centimeter is equal to 0.5 meters. Okay. Now we will find out what is the time period. So Nicola ma'am, again you'll have to oscillate the pendulum.
Yeah.
10 oscillations. We will be counting it again.
Ma'am, we have to write the time taken for 10 oscillations in part C too, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All right. Ma'am, ready?
1 second. No. Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay. So it came to 16.5 seconds. Okay. So now what do you observe? That in part B and part C, everything else is same except for the length of the pendulum. So you will observe that as the length of the pendulum reduces, so let's calculate by formula. Our length was 0.5 divided by 9.81. Okay, then we got the square root, then we multiplied it by 2 and then 22. and then we divided it by 7. So I think I did it correct, right? Yeah. So our time period now is 0.14. Instead of 2.01, now it is 0.14 because the length is reduced by half. Okay. So what is our observation? That as the length of the pendulum increases, the time period increases. As the length of the pendulum decreases, the time period will decrease. Okay. So write it down. Write down this sentence after you've written all the 3 parts. The length of the pendulum as the length of the pendulum increases, the time period increases, and as the length of the pendulum decreases, the time period also decreases. Nicola ma'am, is the other object ready? Other ball, pink one?
Yeah.
How much is the length there?
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, can we have it 0.5 as in 50 centimeters at least?
Yeah. It is 50 centimeter at least, but I'll just.
Now, only for this case, you will write part D also. Now, what we are doing is we are changing the bob. Okay. In all the first 3 parts, A, B, C, the bob was the same. Okay. Now we are changing the bob of the pendulum.
It is 55. Should I reduce it to 50?
Yeah, we want it exactly same as the previous one. So length we don't want to change.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Yes.
if I heard correctly, you said as the length of the pendulum increases, the time taken increases.
The time period.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now in next case, what we are doing, we are changing the bob. That means the size of the bob is different, the mass of the bob is different. Okay. Now let's see whether the number of oscillations remains same or not. Okay. Now the time remains same or not. So again, we'll be doing it for 10 oscillations. All right. Ready, ma'am? 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Yeah, so it comes to around like 15.7, 15.7, 16, near about that. So how much was in case C?
16.5.
Okay, so that means irrespective of the mass or irrespective of the size of the bob, the time period has come to almost the same. Right? 16.5 or 15.75 in seconds is not too much of a difference, right? So the time period is almost the same. So the time period of oscillation is not dependent on mass. So this is the next statement that you will write after part D. So in part D, what you have written, you should write the bob size and mass is different. Okay. Length is still 1 meters. and number of oscillations in time taken for 10 oscillations is 15.7 seconds. So this implies that the time period of a pendulum is not dependent on the mass of the bob, mass and size of the bob. All right, ready? Now, who wants to go first? We'll be doing part A and part B for all three of you. Okay, so who wants to go first? And let's go alphabetically. Adhya, you start.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this example 2?
Sorry?
This is example 2, right?
Yeah, this is example 2. Now in example 2, Adhya, before you start oscillating your pendulum, we want to know what is the length of your pendulum. So what you do is, you mark a certain portion on the thread, and whatever is there beyond that portion, that you wind on your finger.
Okay.
So all of you all do this particular thing. So mark, measure and mark on the rope or the thread and the remaining portion so that you get accurate length measurement.
Minus 50 centimeters.
Okay.
60 centimeters, 60 centimeters.
Note it down, like just make a rough note of it, or you can write it under example 3, okay, because you'll be doing the next. And in example 4, Vedika, how much is the length of your pendulum?
Ma'am, I'll measure it.
You're on mute.
Ma'am, 35 centimeters.
All right, come on, Adhya, let's start. So you take the position. When I ask you to begin the oscillation, I'll tell you go. That time you start counting the oscillation, and you will tell me to stop when 10 oscillations are over.
Okay.
One oscillation is the position from where you leave the ball and it comes back to that position.
Okay.
All right, come on. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes, done.
Okay. So the time period is about 14 seconds.
Adhya, what was the length of your thread?
35.
35 centimeters.
35 centimeters, yeah. So now, do the calculation for part A and part B for Adhya's example.
10.
10 oscillations took?
Sorry? It took,
the 10 oscillations took 14 seconds for her, right?
yeah, 14 seconds. So 1.4 is the time period, like by practically.
Okay.
So are you all calculating for part B?
Yes, ma'am.
It's 2.24 with the
How come?
formula.
How come? How come? I'm getting it as 1.2. Yeah, I'll do it on the screen again here. The length was 35 centimeters, so I converted into meters.
Oh, I wrote 3.5 meters by mistake.
So then it's wrong. Okay, square root, then into 2 into 22 divided by 7. So it is 1.18, that is 1.2 seconds. Okay, so 1.4 was the time period by experiment, and 1.2 is the time period by formula. So very close. Okay, now let's go to Gia. Gia, ready?
Yeah. 1 minute.
So you all wrote what is the length of Gia's pendulum?
Was it 60 centimeters?
Yeah, it was 60 centimeters. So example 3, L is 60 centimeters. Come on, Gia, take your position. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
18 seconds.
Okay.
So 1.8 is the time period as per the experiment.
$18 seconds, right?
Yeah. Now calculate using formula. You want me to do it here? So the length of,
That's the calculation part.
sorry, you're not understanding? Okay, I'll explain it on the board.
Ma'am, so the aim of the experiment is to find out how much time is taken for one oscillation.
Yes, the aim of the experiment is to find out the time period of the pendulum practically and by using the formula. Okay, now see what I'm doing is the board visible? I'll just turn the camera a little bit. Better? Okay, now my L is 60 centimeters, which is equal to 0.6 meters. Okay, now G I already know, it is 9.81. Okay, now to calculate time period, what I'm doing, 2 into 22 upon 7, okay, square root of 0.6 upon 9.81. Is this step clear?
I'm gonna note that down.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, it can also be 2 into 3.14, right?
You can do it that way also. That's okay.
Ma'am, I found the time period and it's 1.5.
1.55. So it is 1.6. Yeah. So again, it's very close to 1.8. And then after this, you use your calculator to solve this. So substitution of the values was a problem, Gia.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So now you understood how to write the formula. Okay. All right. So calculate it, and then let's move on to Vedika. So Vedika, what was the length?
50 centimeters.
Okay, so length of the pendulum for Vedika is 50 centimeters. So example 4, length is equal to 50 centimeters, which is equal to 0.5 meters. Okay, all right. Take your position, Vedika.
Oh.
I hope there is adequate place, Vedika. It won't get disturbed now, the movement of the pendulum.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay, so it is 12.7 seconds. So now calculate part A and part B both.
Ma'am,
Yes.
you have to find the square root of 0.8 divided by 9.81, right?
0.89. Why 0.8? 0.5.
No, in mine.
It was 60 centimeters, right?
Yeah.
So it is 0.6. Okay, Vedika, come on, calculate. So the
Ma'am, I still didn't get it.
I'll help you out, Gia. Just give me a minute. We'll just solve this. 0.5 divided by 9.81 square root into 2 into 22 divided by 7. So it is point, how much? How much was your time period? Practically, Vedika, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I got 1.4.
Okay, I think by practical or by formula?
Yeah.
9.81 square root into 2 into 22 divided by 7. Yeah. So your that was also 1.4 something, no?
It was 1.2.
1.27, 12.7, 1.3. So 1.3 and 1.4. Okay. All right. So let's Gia, can you see this on the screen? Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I want to write it on one of the screens here.
I have a question.
Yes.
In the end of the calculation, why do you divide it by 7?
Because I instead of using the pi value 3.14, I'm using it as 22 upon 7.
Okay.
Okay. So see Vedika, see Gia. In Vedika's case, what we did was, what was inside the square root, Gia, for Vedika's case?
Oh, I didn't write that. I was trying to solve mine.
Okay, so what were in your case? What is inside the square root?
Is 0.6 upon 9.81.
Okay, can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
I will remove the history portion. How do I remove that? All right. So 0.6, okay, divided by 9.81.
Okay.
Okay. Now, after you divide, you get this.
Yeah.
Now we need to find the square root because that fraction is inside a square root.
Okay.
Oops. All right. Forget it. 0.6 divided by 9.881. Okay. I did the square root. So the square root is 0.247. Okay. Now I multiply this by 2 because 2 pi, we need to multiply that value by 2 pi.
Yeah.
So I multiplied it by 2. Then I multiplied it with the value of pi, which is 3.14.
Okay.
So my value is 1.55. How much was your time period when you measured it? Like when you
1.8.
1.8?
So for one oscillation.
Yeah, so then this comes to about 1.6. It is 1.55, so it comes to 1.6.
Okay.
Is this clear now?
Yeah. So okay, got it.
Now you do it for Vedika's thing. See, for Vedika, the length of the string was 0.5 meters. So 0.5 divided by 9.81. Okay. Then we did the square root. Then we multiplied it by 2. And then we also multiplied it by 3.14.
I'll use my calculator.
Yeah, you can. I did something wrong again. I don't know what. You can use your calculator too. Yeah. So 1.41 is the value for Vedika. So is the pendulum experiment clear to all of you? So we understood how to find out the time period of a pendulum. And we also learned that the time period of pendulum is dependent only on the length of the string. Because even if you see the formula now, see, I'll go back. If you see the formula, in the formula also, as long as I told you you are on Earth, the value of G is not going to change. So only variable parameter is L. Rest all is constant. So naturally, the time period will depend only on the length of the string. Okay. Now, had we tried that, all of you all have a, a half a meter thread, then time period for each one of you would have been the same, irrespective of whether you suspended a plastic ball or a rubber ball or a potato or a lemon.
Ma'am, how long did it take for Vedika's one oscillation?
It was how much, Vedika?
1.3. The
One.
practical one.
Practical is 1.3.
Okay.
Okay. So the time period of the pendulum or the number of oscillations are not dependent on the mass or the size of the bob. They are dependent only on the length of the pendulum. Okay. This is a basic rule for a pendulum. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let's move on to, now see what they have done here in this experiment. We have done a little more than what was required. So ideally what you do is you take, take different lengths of pendulum and count the number, find out the time for 20 oscillations for different lengths, and you will be getting different values. Okay. So that's all. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is called speed. Okay. Now we saw that the motion, whenever we are saying that the object is in motion, it is moving at a certain speed. Okay. Speed is how much distance does the object travel in a given time. Okay. So for example, if this man here, this man is starting from here and reaching this particular portion in how much time? That is the speed. If he reaches there fast in less time, I mean, say for example, Vedika and Jia are having a race, okay? And Vedika is running a distance of 50 meters in 5 seconds. And Jia runs the same distance in 8 seconds. So who is running faster? The distance in both cases is the same. Okay. The time which Vedika is taking is little less than the time that Jia is taking. Okay.
So Vedika is running faster.
Yeah. So we say Vedika is running faster. That means her speed is more. Okay. So whenever we need to calculate the speed of anything, any moving object, it can be speed of how, speed of your walking, speed of your, speed of your cycle, speed of your car, motorbike, anything, any XYZ object, you need two parameters. One is the distance that is being traveled, and second is the time that is taken to travel that distance. Okay, now I want you all to note down these three formulas. So first you write speed is equal to distance divided by time. Now make a little change while you do that. Speed is denoted by S and it is measured in meter per second, is equal to distance is, okay, and time. Okay, so speed is measured in meter per second, distance is measured in meters, and time T is measured in seconds. Okay, this is SI unit. Now in your car, you have kilometer per hour. Speed you measure it in kmph, kilometer per hour. Okay, these are other non-standard units, but the standardized unit is meter per second.
Ma'am, I'm gonna go get another pencil. Mine just broke.
Yeah. Okay, now, so once you've written speed is equal to distance upon time, the second formula I want you to write is time is equal to distance upon speed. So in case if distance is given and speed is given, you can calculate the time. And the third formula is distance is equal to speed into time. So if I tell you that Adhya is running at a speed of 5 meter per second, then I can tell you that how much distance Adhya would have traveled. Okay, so Adhya is running at a speed of 5 meter per second and she's been running for say 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Then I can tell you that at that speed, if she keeps running for 10 seconds, what is the distance that she would have traveled? Okay, so three parameters, all three are variables. You don't see any constant. There's no pi, there's no 2, there's no gravitational acceleration, nothing. All the three parameters are variables. Okay, so if you know any two of them, we can find out the third parameter. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. Now see. Now look at the picture here. This man. Now let's observe from the beginning what he is doing. Okay, now he's starting. Look at the time period. Okay, he reaches 6 meters in and comes back in how much second? 4.4 seconds. So how much was the speed? Observe the calculation. Six plus again he comes back 4. So distance is 10 meters and the time he took is 4.4 seconds. So speed is how much? Okay, 10 meter upon 4.4 seconds, which is 2.27 meter per second. Okay, so by this formula, very easily you can find out the speed of any, any object. Even if you don't know it, you can calculate it. You can measure it by knowing the distance, by knowing the time. Okay. Now let's go to the experiment part. So what I want you all to do is, you all were asked to bring a tape or a chalk or anything. And remember last class I told you. So make 2 markings on the floor. Actually 3 markings. One marking will be the initial position of your ball. Second marking at some distance and third marking at a different distance. 3 lines with equal gaps.
Ma'am, I have to get a ball.
Get it. No problem. You can get
So
a
you
ball.
have to make a chalk marking on the floor, right?
You can do a chalk marker. If you don't have a chalk, you can just stick sellotape on the floor.
I have a chalk. I'll use it.
Okay. And if you don't have a ball, you can bring a car also, Hot Wheels car. Yeah.
The tiles on the floor are also of equal distance. So,
Yeah. So, but one tile will be small. So you then just mark it. Remember that your one distance is 3 tiles and the second distance is 6 tiles.
Okay.
Yeah. So just make a slight marking so that you know where to stop. Remove the thread from the ball.
So, ma'am, do I have to measure the distance between 2 markings?
Yes. So you'll from the initial point to the midpoint, what is the distance? From the initial point to the final point, what is the distance? So distance 1, distance 2. Yes.
I made 3 markings in one line.
Yeah, that's how you have to do.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now measure the distance from the starting point to midpoint, then the starting point to the end point. 2 distances. And let's write the units in SI units only. Measure the distance in meters. You all don't have a measuring tape, a bigger one, to make it accurate? Inch tape, the ones that Taylor uses.
Ma'am, from the first point to the second point, it's exactly 1 meter.
Okay. And to the last point? So all of you all note down your own, like, the distances at your own ends. Okay. So write it for yourself. What is the distance?
Ma'am, distance 1 for me is equal to 40 centimeters and
Okay.
distance 2 is 80.
80 centimeters. Okay. So convert it into meters. 0.4 meters and 0.8 meters.
Ma'am, distance 1 is 1 meter and distance 2 is 86 centimeters.
Distance 2 is distance 1 to distance 2 you're calculating.
But this from the first point to second point
Is 1 meter.
and second point to third point is
No, so so I want the distance 2 is the starting point to the last point.
oh.
So the addition of both basically.
Oh, then that's 1 meter 86 centimeters.
Yeah, so 1.86 meters. So write it. D1 is equal to 1 meter. D2 is equal to 1.86 meters.
Got it.
Vedika done?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm taking distance 1 is 50 and distance 2 as 80.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I take the thread off the ball now?
Yeah. Remove the thread. So this time we'll start with Vedika. Okay.
Ma'am, I
Vedika,
have to get a ball.
go get it. Get any object that can roll and go ahead. Vedika, ready?
What do we have to do?
So you'll have to position yourself at the initial point. You have to roll the ball. Okay. First, you'll have to roll it, say a little slowly. Okay. And you have to tell me to stop when your ball reaches the first distance.
Okay.
Okay. And in second case, you'll have to roll the ball faster and you'll have to tell me to stop when the ball reaches the final position.
Okay, so the second, right?
Yeah, so the distance between your second and third line is 30 centimeters, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, perfect.
Okay. Can you tell me to start?
Yeah, you're ready? So first time you will roll the ball really slowly and
Okay.
you will ask me to stop when the ball reaches the point 1. Okay?
Okay.
And in the second time, you will roll the ball faster and you'll ask me to stop when the ball reaches the final line. It should not cross. When it reaches there, you have to tell me to stop.
Okay.
All right, come on. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay, so it is 2 seconds for Vedika. Okay, Vedika, your T1, your D1 is 50 centimeters, your T1 is 2 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, now you'll have to roll it faster and you'll have to tell me to stop when it reaches the final line. Okay.
Wait, ma'am, what was the thing? Sorry.
No, you don't need to write. Everybody will do their own calculations. Okay. So this one is for Vedika. All right, Vedika. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay. So now also it took 1.9 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. So now you write down T2 is equal to 1.9 seconds. Now you know D1, you know D2, you know T1, you know T2. Okay. So you calculate S1 and S2 and keep it ready. So till then we move to Gia.
Okay.
Come on, Gia.
Okay.
So Gia, what you have to do is case 1, you'll roll the ball really slowly from the initial point to the first line. Slowly.
From the,
Okay.
from the first point to the middle line, right?
Yeah, middle line. Okay. So that is the first case. So as soon as your ball reaches the first line, you'll ask me to stop.
Okay.
Okay. And in the second case, you'll roll the ball faster and it should reach the final point, final line.
Okay.
And then you'll ask me to stop. Okay. So ready for first turn?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay. So it is 2.15 seconds.
2.15?
Seconds. T1 is equal to 2.15 seconds.
Okay, so 1 minute. So
Your D1 is 1 meter.
so one by 2 point what?
No, it is 2.15. So you just write down. You can do the calculation while we measure it for Athya. Okay.
Okay.
So T1 is 2.15.
Okay.
Now you have to roll your ball faster. All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay. So now it is 3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Okay. Now you do your calculations. Come on, Athya. Let's go.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
So I have to do T1 and D1 and T2 and D2, right?
Yes, yes. So you have to find out S1 and S2.
Okay.
Come on, Athya. All right. Athya, you know, right? First slowly and then fast.
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
Okay. It is 3 seconds.
So T1 is equal to 3 seconds, right?
Yeah. Now T2. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop.
It is 2.6 seconds. Okay. Now calculate S1 and S2, all three of you all. Vedika, keep your video on. Yeah, you're done, Vedika?
Yeah. I got
Ma'am?
one.
Yes, Gia?
When I calculated it, it's saying 0.4651162797.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. You should not go to so many decimal places. Let me come to you. Let's finish with Vedika and then let me come to you.
Okay.
Yes, Vedika.
My speed one was 25 meters per second,
Okay.
and speed two was 42.1 meters per second.
Isn't that too much?
80 divided by 1.
It's 80 centimeters, no, Vedika?
Oh, so we had to, meters and seconds, I forgot.
Yes, so you did centimeter per second. You have to do it in meter per second. Okay. Come on, Gia. Vedika, you do it again.
I did.
Gia?
T1
Yeah, so-
was way too long, but S1 was too long. S2 is 0.62 meters per second.
Okay, what is your S1? S1, what was the time? T1, how much it was?
2.15 seconds.
2.15. So your S1 is 0.465 meter per second, right?
0.465 meter per second. Okay.
And your D2 was, one second.
1.86 divided by 3.
Yeah. One second.
So 0.
1.86 divided by 3. Yeah, 0.62.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So meter per second, okay? Units you should never forget. Adya, you ready with your calculations?
1 minute, ma'am. I'm calculating.
Okay. Ready, Vedika?
No, ma'am, just a second.
Man, that was really fun.
It's fun, right? Physics is always fun.
Man, my mom came running out when I said stop. And she
Your
got
ball,
excited.
your ball did not run down the stairs, right?
No. It's a bad ball.
Okay.
I got 9. My speed one was 0.25 meters per second, and speed
Okay.
two is 0.42 meters per second.
Okay, very good. Come on, Adya.
Man, give me a minute. I'm gonna get water.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So S1 is equal to 0.13 meter per second,
Okay.
and S2 is equal to 0.3 meter per second.
Very good. Very good. So did you all understand how to calculate the speed? Now, in a question, if speed is given and time is given, will you be able to calculate the distance?
Yeah.
Yes?
Distance is equal to speed multiplied by time.
Time. Yes? Okay, so because there are 3 variables, any 2 are given, you will be able to calculate the third one. Okay. All right, so we are done with this. All right, so we have come to the end of this topic. We have covered pendulum, time period, speed, and types of motions. So now if you all have any questions related to this, you all can ask me.
Okay.
Any doubts that you all have? I will be posting on the group a few mathematical questions for this week, okay? It won't be theory questions, it will be calculations.
So we have to solve them?
You have to solve them and you'll have to send it back to me.
Okay, ma'am. When will you be sending them by?
I will be sending them by say by 6 or 7 in the evening today.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so about 5 to 6 questions I'll be sending you all.
Okay.
Okay, so the questions will you'll have to make sure that you will see the units properly. while converting proper values, proper formula. So I want you to write it down neatly. The way you solve a maths problem, I want you to write the formula first, substitute the values, convert into proper units, and then calculate. Okay? So stepwise manner, you should do it properly. All right, so conceptually, is there any doubt in your mind about these two topics, pendulum and speed? Or is it all clear?
Yeah, it's clear.
It's clear? All right. All right, so see you in the next class now.
Okay, see
Bye-bye.
you, ma'am.
Bye,
Thank you.
all of you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye,
Most welcome.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.